communities, revealing the untold stories and giving you a voice. No sensationalism, no bias, just raw, unadulterated truth. I am committed to delivering news without compromise. Hard facts as we know them, when we know them, and how they affect you. Every Monday through to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. This will be your most authentic news experience starting now on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
It's 2025. The biggest conversations are happening on Hard Facts.
If the model of Ebola was really interested in local government funds, would have protested to be cancelled.
Somebody is receiving 30,000 naira after really copy for 5 years.
From the stories shaping Nigeria's future.
I'm dumping my mood for that whenever people are clapping, he's praise singers when they ought to be telling him the truth.
I mean, he did not do any remarkable thing in your state, and you are celebrating corruption time.
To real-time feedback from you, the citizens.
There is propaganda. They can never make it work. I will not support that tax reform.
If NBS is turning out very fake data to us, because this data lacks empirical evidence.
We dig deep with the decision makers, hold the powerful accountable, and keep the conversation alive on social media. Join Maryann Okon every Monday to Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the most interesting news and current affairs show on radio.
I'm so sorry. I hate it when people make assertions from very skewed and biased places.
Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's talk.
It's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We are broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itamayan Crescent, Victoria Island. This is Hard Facts, and I am Maryann Okon. Welcoming one, welcoming all. We're live. Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. This, Lagos, will be your most authentic news experience. And I promise you that you will come away with something at the end of the day, because these conversations are not just for conversation's sakes. It's to inform, educate, and entertain you. And I want you to be more and more informed and more well-rounded, so that conversations between you and I every other day keeps getting better. Welcome to the show. We start off with the big three stories, and we're looking at stories that are, of course, making headlines on our national dailies, the ones that have made its way into our news bulletins here in the studio, and the ones that you are talking about on social media, causing it to trend. These are the stories that are our big stories for today. And then, of course, on the 4 o'clock hour, because it's the last Wednesday in the month of April, the stairs. Today, we're going to be talking to a nuclear medicine expert. He is one of the first for Nigeria, and For some of us, we've always heard of nuclear scientists. We've never heard of nuclear medicine and nuclear medical doctors. So the doctor that's going to be our guest today will be opening our eyes to a few things. And there's so many things that we're going to be learning from him. And the questions will come after. And of course, on the 5 o'clock hour, we're talking Plateau State. We're talking about River State, I beg your pardon. We're going to be talking about the sole administrator versus the NBA. And I have two lawyers who will be slugging it out here and helping us to make sense of what's happening between the River State sole administrator and the NBA, and if the NBA should return those monies. Welcome to the show, Lagos. You know how we started off. This is how we do it.
Get ready for the most important news of the day. It's time for the Big Three Stories on Hard Facts. Tune in to our primetime show for the latest updates and in-depth analysis on the top stories making headlines. From breaking news to in-depth investigations, we bring you the facts you need to know. Join us as we delve into the biggest stories shaping our world today. Tune in to the Big Three every weekday, 3 to 4 p.m. and stay informed with the news that matters the most. Hard Facts, where the truth always comes first.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Facts. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories. You know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, let's get into the business for the day. Let's look at the big three stories, shall we? IMF downgrades Nigeria's economic growth forecast. In sub-Saharan Africa, the report said growth is expected to decline slightly from 4.0% in 2024 to 3.8% this year, before recovering modestly to 4.2% in 2026. Now, don't forget, these are forecasts, predictions. It's not necessarily exact, okay? So they look at what's happening right now as opposed to what happened before, and they kind of try to see, gauge it with what might be in the future. It's a forecast. Well, the IMF on Tuesday downgraded its economic forecast for Nigeria in 2025 to 3.0%. The downgrade follows a recent decline in global crude oil prices. The multilateral, organization said in its April 2025 World Economic Outlook report released on the sidelines of the ongoing spring meetings of the IMF and the World Bank in Washington. The new forecast represents a 0.2% point reduction from the IMF's earlier projection of 3.2%. In sub-Saharan Africa, like I told you earlier on, the report said that growth is expected to decline slightly from 4.0% in 2024 to 3.8% in 2025 before recovering modestly to 4.2% in 2026. Among the larger economies, the growth forecast for Nigeria is revised downward by 0.2% for 2025 and 0.3 point for 2026 owing to lower oil prices. Yeah. Okay, let's look at another story here. Benue Killings. We need help and not a state of emergency, says Gov Alia. He's begging the federal government for help. Yesterday we had that young man who joined us from Plateau State to talk about the situation on the ground. I will play a clip, actually, from yesterday's conversation while we're at it. But let me give you some background to Governor Alia's appeal to the federal government. Amid the rising spate of killings in Benue, the state governor, Reverend Father Insecurity Alia, said what the people of Benue need is the federal government's absolute support and not a declaration of a state of emergency. While speaking on Arise Television's morning show yesterday, this morning, I beg your pardon, he said the insecurity situation in Benue is not much, or is too much. Wait. Now, he's saying that it's not too much for him to handle, but that he needs the support of the federal government to tackle the crisis. So he said, look, this situation is not too much for me to handle, but I just need help and assistance from the federal government to tackle it. He said that his administration has the capability to end the killings in the state, but he needs more support to drive killer herders invading Benue communities out of the state. Let's move away from that. For those of you who listened to the message of the former running mate of former President Bakare, that's Pastor Tunde Bakare, well, the Senate is hitting back. And this is a story from the Vanguard newspaper. Don't take out your frustration on us, Senate replies Bakare. Now, you remember, he did say, for those of you who don't remember, that the president is running the state like he's a thin god, like he's a demigod, like, and he's saying, look, you need to listen to the people as opposed to acting like you're a kingpin, Well, the Senate has cautioned the founder of Citadel Global Community Church, Pastor Tunde Bakare, against taking out his frustrations on the 10th National Assembly. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Yemi Adaramodu, stated this yesterday in a written response to what he described as the cleric's recent public comments, which included sweeping generations and disparaging commentary aimed at the institution of the National Assembly. He noted that while the Senate respects the right of every citizen, regardless of station, to express views on the state of the nation, it was constrained to respond when the commentary crossed the line into unwarranted invectives and misleading assertions that risk eroding public trust in the democratic institution. I'd like to ask Mr. Daramodu, and I really wish I could interview him one day because I've seen him speak many times. I heard him speak on the Natasha Akpoti situation. I've got my reservations. If a democratic, the so-called democratic institution isn't acting democratically, for example, giving a nod to a state of emergency that is purely illegal and giving a voice vote, is Mr. Bakare not right? Or should he not be in his right to criticize you based on the actions that you have played out that they consider undemocratic? Does he not have a right to criticize it? I'm just asking. And does the Senate have to respond to everything? Is the Senate now Bayo Nanuga? I'm just curious. And finally, still talking insecurity, the IG has come up with a very novel idea. He has deployed special anti-bandit squads nationwide. Apparently, amidst the rising insecurity across the country, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, yesterday ordered the immediate deployment of a special squad to tackle the growing wave of violence. The police chief also directed all police mobile force squadrons to keep at least one fully equipped combat unit ready on constant standby. All right. On the issue of anti-bandit squads, what are your thoughts? And what is wrong with this reply from the Senate to Bakare? I'm just curious. Is there a way out of these killings in Benue and Plateau? The governor is saying, well, it's not above me, I just need help. And what can Tinubu's government do to better our economy as we speak? Join the conversation. 0201 277 0993, 0201 465 7190. You could join the conversation on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Post your comments on WhatsApp 08095975805. If you're listening from outside of the country, you want to call in, call our WhatsApp. Only if you're listening from outside of the country, but you can also send us a message on X. Use the hashtag #HardFacts. 60 seconds is all you have. While we're asking about how the Plateau and Benue Killings are going to end, my guest yesterday gave his thoughts on what he thinks can help in the fight. I will play that as the conversation goes on, but let's go. The phone lines are open. 0201 277 0993. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon, Maryann.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
And I'm speaking to you from Ife.
Go ahead.
Quickly, let me respond to Senator Daramodu. I've listened to him speak, and I'm not convinced about, the fact that he was the one who put together all those grammar. I believe if you call him to come and explain some of the grammar, that are in that statement, you probably not know what the meaning of them. However, what Tunde Bakare said, we are right. We talk about nepotism, and the supportive, all the time supportive of the National Assembly, despite the fact that they should be raising concern in some of the policies of the president, of which they are not doing anything about it. But I'm just an Isuku man, because they said the president needs to work with or listen to people that he trusts. I don't think we have any appointments, from my own side of Delta State. However, they can report Tunde Bakare to the Yoruba Council of Elders, or let the IG, Yoruba IG, handle his case, or the Yoruba CDS.
What does that even mean?
They can. I don't want them to go to the Yoruba Chief Justice of the Federation, because that would take a long time. Or they settle, amicably, by inviting the Yoruba CBN governor with the
Okay, brother, your time is up. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very much for calling. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Sorry about that. Do call us back. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon, Maryann.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What?
Obonilo Peter.
Oh, Peter. Go ahead.
I'd love to ask this question. Anti-bandit squad, as the IG pronounces. So if the president do not give them direction, the service chief will not do anything. So they have to wait for the president to give them order. It's a tall order in Nigeria. I don't know. Okay, now, I just heard from your news that all mobile police have been withdrawn from private people. Where are they going to deploy them?
This is not the first time we've heard this. They do it all the time.
Thank you very much. They've been doing that. But we've not seen the presence of these withdrawals. You understand? Mm-hmm. Then my state governor, Reverend Father Hyacinthe, I don't know why even Reverend Fathers are contending for governors.
What do you mean? I disagree with you. Why can't people who are preachers take the reins? I don't understand.
This is the third time that a reverend, if I'm correct, the second time, if I'm correct. Maybe I know. Let sacred things be for sacred things, and let
what does that even mean? He's spiritual as much as he's physical. What's all that?
Good. It is not above him, but he needs the presence of the federal government. When the federal government is not coming forth, what has he been doing with the security vote? Maryann, good afternoon or good evening.
All right, Peter, thank you very much for calling. But what do you mean by that spiritual vote? What do you mean? We're saying that it's we can't leave everything to politicians because we say, it's a dirty game, so it's just for them. But then you're complaining about the output. So now, if Reverend Father has decided that she's going to run the state, what's wrong with that? I mean, we're not talking about Pastor Jolly Nyame here. That's a totally different thing. But why can't Christians or Muslim clerics run for office? I mean, if they're supposed to be upstanding men in society, why can't they do well in holding public office? I'm just saying. Because when you start saying, religion doesn't have anything to do with... So are you telling me that you're a different person when you go to your place of worship and then you're a different person when you're at a place of work? Then you're not being true to yourself. So, let's leave what's his name? Father Alia. Mrs. Oboli is calling us from Ikorodu. Hello, Mrs. Oboli.
Hi, Maryann. 2 minutes and you pay my credit. Good afternoon.
Excuse me?
Our lines are working now. Praise the Lord.
Yes, so the Lord laid his hands on it.
Abi, see, IGP Special Anti-Bandit Squad. Maryann, what should I say? Give them a clap offering. I beg you. I'm simply indifferent about it until I see evidential proof of their seriousness in stemming the growing wave of violence and death we have all about us. Okay. What is that to be optimistic about when I'm not even sure they will do better? But let's just keep our fingers crossed.
All right.
And the Benue State governor is saying that he cannot handle this, so let him shout loud and clear. He cannot handle it. So everywhere they want to look for help.
Are you the governor? If the governor says that it's not too much for him, he just needs extra help.
They die every second, every day. And you tell me he can handle what? Our brothers and sisters are dying. Our children are dying. He cannot handle anything. And the Senate in its usual manner, they have this almighty, we know it all attitude. They will never seek good counsel or hearken to the voice of reasoning because they know it all. So what they have said so far, what is the difference? I remember I go sit down, Maryann. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for calling. All right. I've got just 49 seconds and I cannot take any other call. When we come back from the break, we'll take your thoughts and your comments. The phone lines are open. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Post your comments on our live stream on YouTube. I would like to hear from you. What should the government be doing that they're not doing to help the economy? Again, what do you think about Mr. Okon's anti-bandit squad? Will anything come of it? We'll be right back after these messages.
This is Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shegwa Rinze.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
One of the biggest football fan festivals in Nigeria is back. It's GoFest 2025. Now turn up the energy. GoFest 2025 will also feature exhilarating games, food, and comedy. Come watch the UEFA Champions League finals on a super huge screen. GoFest 2025 will take place on the 31st of May 2025 at the Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Ahmadu Bello Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 12 noon. Limited tickets available. Get your free tickets now at www.gofestnigeria.com. GoFest 2025 is powered by Femi and the Gang and Football Republic, sponsored by Squadron, proudly refreshed by Pepsi.
Now ask for them. We don't run them. You ask for them. It don't happen. Yes, so News Central did live on top Go TV channel 23 with a summoner, the latest story and information from Niger and Obodo Yibo. Sabi say with Go TV, News Central go knock you correct story and wetin dey happen for politics, business, sports and entertainment as it dey hot. As it dey happen, now so we dey talk am. You ask for them. You don't get them. News Central, station where they totori belle.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Trust us on Hard Facts, whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories. You know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
It is the Big Three on Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Again, I'd like to let you know that we are broadcasting from the nation's economic capital, Lagos, Nigeria, precisely from Victoria Island. And of course, we're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. You can join the conversation on WhatsApp, 0809597585. If you're listening from outside of the country and you want to be part of the conversation and contribute, you can call us on WhatsApp. But if you are listening to us in Nigeria, 0201-277-0993. That's 0201-277-0993. For the ladies, 0201-465-7190. Yes, join the conversation. These are the big three stories for today. Make it four. The IMF downgrades Nigeria's economic growth forecast. Benue Killings, Vincent Alia is asking that they be given help. The federal government helps instead of a state of emergency. And the Senate replies Tunde Bakare saying, don't take out your frustrations on us. And finally, the police chief, IGP Benue Okon, has deployed a special anti-bandit squad across the nation. What will it achieve? Would like to hear your thoughts and your comments. Join the conversation, 0201-277-0993. And we're talking about what should be the solution to the killings in Benue and Plateau. Here's my guest from yesterday, Redzi, who is a lawyer and of course an indigene of Plateau State, who also has been a victim of some of the killings. This is what Redzi had to say. Apparently, Redzi was on the show with us yesterday on the Big Hard Facts as we talked about the killings in Plateau State. And are you advocating and what the solution would be? Here it is. Begin to carry arms, because I also heard your governor say, in fact, let me start with Nuhu Ribadu, who had visited Bokos to say, oh, it's time for the people to rise up. And I asked the question, rise up to do what exactly? And your governor is saying that, everybody also something has to give, because you guys cannot stand by and be killed.
I will break it down. I'll break it down for you. Let's not forget, like I said, Nigeria currently has about 370,000 police officers. That's over 200 for over 200 million people. We're talking about the ratio of 1 to 541, far below the UN recommended ratio of 1 to 400. We're talking armed forces are approximately 223,000 active personnel. We're talking Army 130, Navy 25,000, Air Force 18,000. And we're talking about a size of this country. So clearly, what we have today cannot cater to 250 million people. So what are we saying? We're not saying create something outside of what is going on as security apparatus. No. What we're saying is this. You can create directorates in the police or in the army that will license vulnerable communities after checks have been done. Names, psychological balance of individuals who are already today walking around those communities with bows and arrows. Now, we're saying those people can go through checks and balances, and it is not outside of what the security apparatus can do. It's like a civilian GTF kind of situation where you know the individuals, if it is 100 people per community or 200 per community, you know them, you subject them to all kinds of checks. Do not forget, even repentant Boko Haram people have been de-radicalized. So take us to a situation whereby they are put in a place where they can actually be fortified enough, and then they must receive compulsory training from security apparatus, which means that each and every ammunition that is going to be released to those kind of people are monitored with weekly checks and reports. Do not forget that the Firearms Act already has a framework for that. And we're saying, why don't you not allow it? And we're not coming from a place of advocacy for gun use. Like, for instance, the National Rifle Association in the US. No, it's not like that. We're coming from the context of Section 33 of the 1999 Constitution that gives you a right to self-defense.
Let's hear your thoughts. 0201-277-0993. Welcome to Hard Facts. Oh dear, apologies. Do call us back if that was you. 0201-277-0993. 0201-465-7190. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, good afternoon, Maryann.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Yusuf.
Yusuf, I need you to speak up so we can hear you clearly, please.
Yeah, this is Yusuf calling from Surulere. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, the IGP has deployed bandit squadrons to every state in the country, if I hear it clearly. So, I think I will not be applauding them for now until we see their turn up for emergencies, because even during the elections, Maryann, they deployed thousands of soldiers to every part of Nigeria for the unit where they are going. Election is going to take place, and at the end of the day, when you go there to go and cast your vote, you see a police woman sitting down, where we experienced a lot of things. Someone was standing. This is not somebody telling me. I was there. Someone was telling us that came to cast vote that if you are not here to vote for APC, don't cast the vote here or leave my unit. I was like, where are our security? Where are the thousands of soldiers that will deploy? So all those deploy. I will not applaud them for now until I see their turn up for emergencies.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Maryann.
All right, thank you very much. You and this Mrs. Did I marry me? Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Hello. All right, do call me back. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Maryann, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Robert. My contribution to that governor of Benue State is that. So, what this man is trying to say is that the people ravaging the security in Benue State, though I'll be saying it's political, but the government is now saying indirectly that he's telling the federal government that they know the killers perpetrating this act, and he's seeking their support to stop them. But if the federal government do not give him support, the killings should continue. To me, that I believe that is what this man is saying. Because how can a governor who is supposed to be the security of a state be telling federal, be seeking support? Which support is he trying to seek for now? Because he has the security vote that the government is giving every month. So these people, they know what they're doing, Gary. They are just sorry for them. Thank you, madam.
All right, thank you very much for calling, Robert. Let me read some messages on YouTube Live. On YouTube, Apav Tengu here says, obviously from Benue, I like your name, says, the Reverend Father is doing exceedingly well. He's capable of handling the situation if adequate support is given to him. The governor means well for the people. Security is overstretched. James Apav Tengu, I love your name. It's beautiful. I love those names from them Van Daycare places. I love it. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon, Lady Miriam.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Prince Wyatt, calling you from Amuodo.
Okay.
The statement of Benue State Governor, for me, I think those people attacking people, even though they are foreigner, he must have a local collaborator that join hand together to be terrorizing the people. And the one of Plateau to me is beyond military intervention. As I said, look at governor now. Governor now calls stakeholder to all things are behind the camera. And that was I said the other time around. And that's how it's supposed to be. If you have a communal class, killing one another, it is love that got lost. But the moment you realize your differences and ready to work together to be the state, to be the humanity, I'm telling you, everything was better.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Igwe Jimo here on Facebook Live says, my question is the president still in control of the happenings in Nigeria? The entire country is like we have no president. Jonah Young here says, the Benue insecurity is growing worse day in, day out as killer herdsmen already laid siege on some communities. Innocent people are being butchered in cold blood by marauding Fulani bandits. Government should be proactive and decisive in dealing with the security crisis in Benue because the jihadist agenda of Fulanis are obvious. Many communities are now deserted, forcing locals to face miserable lives in internally displaced persons' homes. It is saddening, I'm sure that's what you meant to type, why Benue people are living in the mercy or at the mercy of Fulani herdsmen. It's abominable to be a refuge in your state. I can't even say that I understand what the people of Benue or Plateau or any other places, experiencing. I went to Borno personally and I saw all these IDPs, and I did a really nice documentary on some of the girls who were displaced and found, some sort of succor in IDP camps. Some of them got their education, but it's a terrible thing to be a refugee in your home. It's a terrible thing. I can never understand the pain that the people are going through. Damiel Nanpan here says, the permanent solution to insecurity in Plateau and Benue is self-defense. But how can it be controlled so it doesn't get out of hand? Prince Leo Ozomma here says, top of the day, Pastor Bakare is so true what he said about this government and the most rubber-stamped National Assembly. Can they beat their chest and tell us one request made by the president they amended or rejected? None. Nigerians, it is obvious that to rescue this country from these gladiators, we must come together in unity and fight them. State policing system is so apt at this time. Thank you, Prince Leo. Paul Obiajunwa here on Facebook Live says, no hope again in Nigeria because of bad influence. Frank Emega says, so Delta State is now APC controlled, an APC controlled state just because the governor is fighting for second term. So he has to make the state APC. What a country. I don't understand, Frank. Where are you coming from and where are you going to? AB Ambo here says, we've been on a steady economic decline since Buhari's regime, and the Tinubu administration is not helping matters. In fact, the decline under Tinubu is horrendous, and we know this without forecast or rating of the IMF because we're feeling it. And to WhatsApp, let me do you justice, guys. Jeremiah here says, even Pastor Tunde Bakare is one of those who raised and praised Buhari like never before as a newly created angel. What he said about this current retrogressive government of Tinubu is on point. Until a spade is called a spade and not a big spoon, terrorists may take over the whole country, as it has been decided in the far Middle East in connection with northern Nigeria. Nigeria should defend themselves. I'm sure you mean Nigerians should defend themselves to such extent that terrorists will take to their heels. All governors on both sides must rise and defend citizens as their first agreement to secure citizens. This is, he says, a jihadist Islamic war. This one says, good afternoon. I'm sure you mean the only work that the Senate has for the... Okay, let me read this again. The only Senate that have worked, for the betterment of Nigeria since our return to democracy is the 8th Senate. Never rubber stamp, led by Bukola Saraki. Kudos to them. This is from Pastor Meba Wonyedoe. I hope I did not kill your name, Sha. Aya here says, Maryann, it's funny that the police is just raising a bandit squad. Are they not the same police or another set of people? Alia doesn't want a state of emergency, but he's doing nothing to protect the lives and properties. IMF understands Nigeria is retrogressing and things are getting worse. Robert here says, good afternoon, Maryann. I've been saying that the insecurity ravaging our country is political. The Benue State governor is indirectly telling the federal government that they know the killers perpetrating the acts. I think, Robert, you've already called me to tell me this, so I'm just going to move on. This one says, thank you very much. Thank you, Baluola. We thank you for your message. This one here says, Maryann, please, what is the novel in the development of anti-bandit squad? I had to say something. What is the number of the so-called squad vis-a-vis the overwhelming insecurity challenges politicians have foisted on us? Nigerians should stop deceiving themselves with rhetorics like this. We didn't hear from the IGP when his master was sick and on leave. All of them, including the so-called security advisor, had suddenly found their voices because they want to pretend the sick president. They wanted to pretend to the sick president that they are working. Did the president tell you that he's sick? Back to the phone lines. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Action Lady, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you. This is Christopher calling from Ikoyi.
All right.
This is the second time. You know, the first time before this extra job that he's doing, he ordered the police to leave all those VIP, whatever. But no, they are still there today. And they are raiding a banded squad or whatever to do that. Is it today? The army, whatever, the Rubadu that went to Benue. Why must you wait until the man come back before you go to Benue? And for that, Reverend Father, as far as you join politics is dirty in Nigeria. Forget about saying the Reverend whatever. As far as join party, particularly APC, your people are dying there. You ask some set of people not to visit Benue until you give approval. We all are in for it. Let them continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for calling. I do appreciate it. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Maryann, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Mercy.
Yes, Maryann, I'm very pity. I can speak with you right now. By Boya tomorrow, next month, I'll be in Benue State. You know, I'm preparing. Maryann is a very pity. It's a very pity. I pray God will let me. I will reach by God's grace.
Safely.
I have one interview, and I will tell them, let our Benue people, they will defend their faith. I will go interview. Let them defend their faith. This is my father's land, and I pray. That is why I'm going home, and I pray God will let me. Nothing will happen to me. This Lagos is not my father's house. It's Nigeria rather. But it's not my father. I'm going to my father's house, and I will go to interview. Let them come and catch me. I'm from Benue State, and I will tell Benue State people, let them defend themselves. If they don't have anybody to fight for them, let each community to defend themselves. Maryann, this is very touching. It's very touching.
All right, Mercy. I understand.
God will help us.
I understand.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Everyone's now resorting to God because we have leaders, but then there is no help coming from them. So even the leaders are asking for help. Where does that leave everybody else, including those who lost family members in one? I mean, literally, a whole family wiped out in one day, in 24 hours. Where does that leave those people? Where's the hope? What's that shred of hope that they can hold on to? What are you going to tell these people? What will we ever be able to tell these people? Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is BC calling from Igondo area now.
All right, Tindubisi, go ahead.
I remember when Senate President Akpabio said, Mr. President, this is the Senate. Now, Bakare is telling them they are under control of the president. They are replying. When Akpabio was saying, Mr. President, this is the Senate, you don't know that they have given themselves to Mr. President. That is number one. Number two, Reverend Father is a title. Anybody can any name. Reverend Father will not take you to heaven. Pastor will not take you to heaven. Man of God will not take you to heaven. It's a title. Anybody can bear it. A native doctor can bear a Reverend Father. It's a title. Can't take you to heaven. Anybody can bear any name. That one don't make him to be number one man or the most righteous man in the world. Once you join Nigerian politics, I see you as a devil. That's me for you.
Okay.
Once you're a politician, you are a devil.
Okay.
You eat with devil and you're one of them.
Thank you for calling.
So thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
But you see, that's a terrible perspective or opinion to hold. Because, I mean, if we're all saying that we want some change to take place and then we're opening up the waters for everyone to come fishing, why would you call everyone who goes into politics evil? You don't even know what you want, do you? Do you? Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Paul from Ikeja.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I like that Benue woman. I like the thing we talk. But you remember that Pado where they key people for Ikorodu that time. They call government not answer them. So the area people now stand up by themselves, do security for night, make that thing stop that time. So Benue people they can defend themselves. If you then wait for government, before you know, they will enter, then they will kill them finish. So let them defend themselves. That's my own.
All right.
Yes.
Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Yeah, sorry about that, lady. Do call us back. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Chike. I'm calling from Apapa.
Go ahead.
Yes, what I want to say is that, you see, I was born and brought up in Catholic Church. I know Reverend Fathers live holy life. But in this particular Reverend Father, the governor of Benue State, I think that I don't want to criticize him because in Catholic Church, you don't criticize an ordained man of God. But I just want to say what I feel about him. I think it's the characteristics of Reverend Fathers. A man who can give you an excuse like that he cannot guarantee a security of an individual who wants to go and visit people in the IDP. In fact, Reverend Fathers, what they are known for.
No. I think that most of you just you misunderstood him. He was saying that people can't sneak into a state where there's insecurity without letting him know, because he can guarantee your security. For example, if an article wants to come to my state, for example, and I'm the governor, I need to know this so that I can send some sort of protection for him or an entourage or something.
But Obi said that he tried several times I'm not holding brief.
Hold on. I'm not holding brief for Father Alia because I don't know what went on the bridge. But I'm just saying that's what you should do, especially for a state that there's some level of insecurity.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to conclude about that statement that he made is that it is not too difficult to secure that state if you know what he's doing as a Reverend Father. And that is the reason why most Reverend Fathers have licensed gun in their house. They're always ready for self-protection. So you know what to do. The money that they take for vocation to go and enjoy themselves for holiday is enough to buy weapon and give those guys in the community.
Thank you very much for calling. I have 4 minutes on the clock. I want to read a few more messages as they're coming in. If you do not mind, please. Mofe here says, police coming out with another squad, another naming ceremony with no definite result. They have they have to wait till the president comes back before they can walk. What kind of country are we running, he says. Another person here says federal government is paying lip service. I'm sure you mean paying lip service to the issue of insecurity. If someone displaces you and takes your land and occupies your land, what are you supposed to do? Lament or dislodge him from your land? Killer herders burned down villages, displaced the villages and occupied and renamed the villages till date. And federal government allowed them to retain those villages. We're not serious about stopping insecurity in this country. Anslet from Alagbado. And that's exactly what my guest said yesterday. And this is something I've asked several people, government officials. How can we have a government that's sitting and we have ungoverned spaces where bandits and terrorists are taking taxes from the people? Are we really ready and serious about this whole issue of fighting insecurity? This one here says, Maryann, to avoid rubber stamp national assemblies, why the US had midterm elections where you usually see a swing to the opposition party. Nigeria's politics is not that advanced. What do you expect when the Senate is a majority APC? Now, what for Bakare? This one says, good afternoon, Maryann. This is a long story. Well, do we need the World Bank to tell us the obvious? Nigeria's economy isn't just being downgraded, but has collapsed completely. The energy security, social services, the general economy, and virtually every sector has been destroyed by the APC in just 10 years. A few years ago, Nigeria was comparing with South Africa, Egypt, and Asian countries in all indices. But now, with Mali, Sudan, Afghanistan, as we heard Nuhu Ribadu say that our security situation is still better than that of Sudan during his condolence visit to Benue. This is why I advocate that these guys who want to occupy political offices get people like us to teach them how to address the public, because some of these things that they say should never be heard from anybody's lips, let alone someone who holds a political office. What do you mean? Anyway, he says only with that Senate anthem on your mandate we shall stand. Tunde Bakare is justified. Comrade Godfrey, thank you. This one says all right, this one says Agbetokun mobilizes so-called police. So these so-called guys will know when the big military guys are available, which is the military. These people called APC are just jokers. Okay, Sunday. This one says, good afternoon, Maryann. I was at Owo, local government area 6 years ago, and the herdsmen were killing and destroying their crops. The village youth stood up and fought the herdsmen out of their community. The hunters took turns staying up so as to protect the villagers. Since then, they've not had any issues concerning herdsmen. This is for Lauren Shaw from Ogun State. I actually did visit Ogun State at the time when these things happened, so I can sort of corroborate what you're saying. This one says, I want to say here that governments are paying lip service to insecurity. I watched Bulama Bukachi on channels 2 days ago. I wept. This is his submission that in Borno State within January to date, there were 397 attacks, 540 people killed, and 350 people abducted. Bulama Bukachi is a security expert. Yes, I know him. I've interviewed him a couple of times. Based in the United Kingdom and an indigenous of Borno State. He says, what a country we live in. I have lived in Borno State after my NYSC, and it used to be a peaceful state. Well. We're going to go on a break. When I come back, I have about a minute or two to read some more messages. We've got to go on that break. It's still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. The stairs comes up on the other side of the clock. We're going to be talking about nuclear medicine. You've never heard of it? Well, you will learn something today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Credible journalism, bridging the gap between people and those in authority. With Hard Facts, you are sure to get only the facts.
Tune in to Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
What are you doing on the 27th of April? Because I've got an invite with your name on it. #WithTudeLive. Joy Funke Akindele Bovi, Pastor Jerry Eze, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Files the Bad Guy on Sunday, April 27, 2025 at the Palms Mall, Lekki. Get your tickets now at felafun.com. Regular 20,000 naira, VIP 50,000 naira, and VVIP 150,000 naira. One beautiful night for your mind, heart, and spirit.
From Washington to Beijing, Moscow to Abuja, London to Kigali, the world is shifting fast.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.